Some motorcycles break down, others break records. But these are the bikes that refuse to die. Today we're counting down the 10 most reliable motorcycles ever built. Machines so tough, they've earned cult status across continents. One of them? It's racked up over 150,000 miles without a single major repair. And somehow, it's not number one. Stick around, because number 7 might just be hiding in your neighbor's garage. Number 10, Honda XR650L. This isn't just a motorcycle, it's a cockroach with a carburetor. The Honda X650L refuses to die, no matter how hard, how long, or how dirty you ride it. It's the kind of bike that laughs in the face of overheating, broken sensors, or electronic nightmares. It first hit the roads in 1993 and hasn't changed much since the Clinton administration, because it never needed to. Bikers call it the apocalypse bike for a reason. When the grid goes down, this is the machine you'll still be riding through the rubble. No fuel injection, no fancy tech, just air, spark, and steel. Let's break it down. The XR650L runs an air-cooled 644 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine. No radiator to leak, no electronics to glitch out, just basic, brutal, reliable engineering. Even better, riders love that simplicity. You'll find XR650Ls with 60,000, 80,000, even over 100,000 miles still tearing up trails every weekend. It's so low maintenance, owners call it garage therapy. Not because it breaks, but because they miss it if they're not turning a wrench now and then. Basic oil changes, valve checks, maybe a fresh chain if you're feeling generous. One guy in Arizona has been commuting on his since the 90s. Same engine, still kicking. And then there's the guy who rode a 20-year-old XR across the Trans-America Trail. Armed with nothing but a few tools and a smile. Sure, it's tall, it's heavy for a dirt bike, and it shakes more than your uncle's lawnmower. But when it comes to dependability, you're not going to find a tougher mule. The XR650L may outlast the apocalypse, but coming up next is a bike so unbreakable, even Suzuki owners joke it thinks a mechanic is just a myth. Number 9, Suzuki DR650. The Suzuki DR650 is for riders who don't care about Bluetooth, screens, or traction modes. Just a bike, a trail, a wrench in one hand and a cold one in the other. It's the definition of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A time machine on 2 wheels frozen somewhere in the mid-90s, and proudly so. Launched in 1996 and still sold basically unchanged, the DR650 is one of the last true dual sports that refuses to evolve for the sake of it. In a world of flashing screens and fragile electronics, this thing is a mule with a motor. Stubborn, simple, and absolutely dependable. At the heart of the DR650 is a 644 cubic centimeter air oil-cooled single-cylinder engine that's famously understressed and built to take a beating. Owners routinely report 50,000 to 70,000 miles. Many even crack 6 figures without ever opening up the engine. One guy on an ADV forum claims his DR hit 125,000 miles before he even thought about replacing the clutch. And get this, it's still running a carburetor in 2025. Yes, a carburetor. No ABS, no traction control, no electronics to fry when you're 50 miles from civilization. Maintenance? It's garage-friendly. Oil, filters, valves, maybe a chain now and then. Parts are cheap, and unlike modern bikes, you'll never need a laptop to figure out what's wrong. Sure, it buzzes at highway speeds, and it's not winning any style points. But when the ride gets long and remote, the DR just keeps thumping along. While other adventure bikes throw warning lights and check engine codes, the DR just winks at you with a trail of dust behind it. Think the DR650 was old school? Number 8 makes it look like a space shuttle. This next bike was kick-starting through deserts when most riders were still in diapers. And somehow it's still out there climbing mountains today. Stick around, because this one's raw, rowdy, and built like a brick. Number 8, Yamaha XT500. Old, loud, and practically immortal, the XT500 is the kind of bike that starts bar fights, climbs mountains, and still shows up to work the next morning with mud on the tires. Built in an era when bikes were raw and riders were tougher, the Yamaha XT500 doesn't ask for much. Just a boot, a strong leg, and maybe a bit of forgiveness if it kicks back. Launched in 1976, this was Yamaha's answer to a world that needed motorcycles to go anywhere and survive anything. No starter button, no electronics, just a kicker and grit. And against all odds, many of these bikes are still alive and thumping today. A rolling middle finger to planned obsolescence. The XT500's 499 cubic centimeter, air-cooled, 4-stroke, single-cylinder engine is a piece of functional art. Simple, overbuilt, and as reliable as the sunrise. Owners say these things run forever. We're talking 40,000 to 60,000 miles on original internals with just oil changes and valve checks. Its fame exploded after winning the 1979 Paris-Dakar Rally, one of the harshest endurance races on Earth. That win wasn't luck. It was a warning shot to every other bike. This thing doesn't break. What riders love most? It's dead simple to fix. Drop it, drown it, tip it off a cliff, clean the carb, drain the oil, and it'll still fire up. Now let's be honest, it's not the smoothest on the highway, and kickstarting it can sometimes feel like trying to wake up a bear. But once it's running, it'll outlive most of what's in your garage. Ever kickstarted one of these beasts back in the day? Or better yet, still ride one? Drop your story in the comments and tell us how many kicks it takes. The XT500 helped shape the adventure bike scene. Now up next, a whole different beast. It's a Harley that never cared about trends, just the ride. Rough, loud, and built to keep going no matter what. This thing has seen rain, heat, gravel, and more gas station coffee than a long-haul trucker, and it never flinched. Number 6, Harley-Davidson Road King. Touring legend, police favorite, built like a tank and trusted for decades, the Road King isn't just a Harley, it's a damn institution. This beast has been the go-to for law enforcement across the country, and not for the paint job. With its rock-solid Milwaukee 8 engine, the Road King delivers stump-pulling torque that swallows highways and back roads without breaking a sweat. At 70 miles per hour, it doesn't roar, it glides. It's the kind of machine where 200,000 miles on the odometer doesn't raise eyebrows. It raises respect. One guy in Arizona rode his Road King across every single state in the US, with nothing more than oil changes, new tires, and a permanent grin under the helmet. And the comfort? Riders swear by the air suspension, that big windshield, and the upright riding position. You can cruise from sunrise to sunset without your back screaming for mercy. Now sure, some Harleys get accused of being all chrome and no guts. But the Road King, it earned its stripes the hard way, mile after mile, not marketing. The Road King may be royalty on the road, but the next bike, it doesn't wear a crown, it just shows up. Day after day, rain or shine, highway or dirt, and somehow, it never breaks. Number 5, Suzuki V-Strom 650. The Swiss Army knife on 2 wheels. This bike doesn't flex, it just clocks miles, crosses borders, and shrugs off abuse like it's on autopilot. The V-Strom 650 isn't flashy, but it's the kind of ride you can take across the country and back, twice, with nothing but gas, oil, and a stupid grin on your face. Ask anyone who's owned one, and they'll just shrug and say, it runs. And they're not kidding. 150,000 miles, no drama, no fuss. That's thanks to the engine. A bulletproof V-twin pulled from the old SV 650. Smooth, proven, and tough as coffin nails. Maintenance? Easy. Change the oil, check the valves, keep it rubber side down. It won't complain. Commute on Monday, tour on Friday, hit dirt trails by Sunday. It never blinks. It's even earned a nickname in the rider community, the tractor, because it just keeps chugging, no matter what you throw at it. And here's the kicker. It costs less to run than some scooters that start falling apart at 30,000 miles. Unlike bikes that need constant pampering just to stay alive, the V-Strom is the kind of machine that stays loyal, even if you forget its birthday. Like this list? Don't hit the brakes on us. Subscribe for more battle-tested bikes, real rider stories, and two-wheel legends that earn their reputation the hard way. Now, if the V-Strom is the quiet workhorse, then number 4? It's a cult icon. Built so tough, its owners treat it like a sacred relic. Number 4, BMW R80/R100 Airhead Series, built for life. These bikes don't age, they season. The BMW Airhead series didn't care about showroom sparkle. It was built to run until the world stopped spinning. R80, R100, air-cooled boxer twins with stripped-down stone-axe engineering that laughs in the face of bikes that need Bluetooth to start. They're not fast, they're not flashy, but they're forever. Owners call them tractor reliable. Mechanics call them a dream to work on. There are bikes from the 1970s still racking up miles like they just rolled off the lot. We're talking 200,000 plus miles on original engines. No joke. With exposed valve covers, shaft drive, and no excess electronics to babysit, the Airhead earns its legendary status the hard way. These machines made their name hauling through the European Alps, American backroads, and South American expeditions, and they're still going strong today. There's a whole global subculture of tinkerers who keep these things alive with nothing but wrenches, willpower, and beer. Try pulling that off with some over-designed sport bike that needs a laptop just to diagnose a spark plug. Most bikes age like milk. This one, like cast iron and a bottle of top-shelf bourbon left to breathe. Ever rebuilt a car by hand or done your own valve adjustments? These bikes made that stuff fun. This Airhead Boxer? Not just a bike, it's a rite of passage with a torque curve. The kind of bike you don't sell, you just hand it down to someone who gets it. And now we're entering the top 3. Top 3 time. These next machines didn't just survive, they carried generations, built riding tribes, and buried more odometers than we can count. Number 3 is a legend with armchair comfort and a 6-cylinder soul. It's hauled campers, crossed continents, and quietly racked up miles while others rattled apart. If your dad or your granddad ever rode one, you probably heard the stories, and maybe even took a nap on the back seat. Let's talk about the road king of long-distance love, the one and only Honda Goldwing. Number 3, Honda Goldwing GL1000 to GL1500. 400,000 miles and still rolling. Ever ride something so smooth, so effortless, it feels like the engine's just kicking back while you eat up the highway? That's the Goldwing, a highway legend, a road sofa with a heart of gold. And get this, some of these bikes have clocked over 400,000 miles without ever needing a rebuild. No drama, just oil changes, valve checks, and a stubborn refusal to quit. This bike didn't just show up to tour, it rewrote the whole rulebook. From the original GL1000 in the 70s to the 6-cylinder GL1500 in the 90s, the Goldwing was always ahead of its time. Liquid-cooled engines so smooth they whisper. Shaft drive for zero fuss. Hydraulic lifters that shrug off maintenance. And seats so plush they make your living room jealous. These things hauled full families and camping gear while other bikes were still figuring out how to tighten a chain. Goldwings get handed down like family heirlooms. And half the time, they're in better shape than the family minivan. Dad rides it, then his son rides it. And Grandpa? He's still got the service log from 1982, laminated and tucked in the glove box. Some folks even name their Goldwings, because after 300,000 miles, it's basically a family member. Unlike plenty of luxury bikes that start creaking under real-world miles, the Goldwing just keeps humming. Not just a motorcycle, a rolling living room that brought people closer, mile after mile. The Goldwing didn't just show us what comfort and class could look like on 2 wheels. It proved a motorcycle could be part of the family. But now, we shift gears. Because bulletproof reliability doesn't always come wrapped in chrome and comfort. Sometimes it's gritty, battle-scarred, held together with duct tape, zip ties, and pure stubbornness. Our number 2 bike won't win beauty contests, but talk to anyone who's crossed deserts, limped through thunderstorms, or dragged it out of a ditch, and they'll say the same thing. This bike doesn't know when to quit. It's been to war, dropped, drowned, flogged, and it still thumps back to life like nothing happened. Let's talk about the legend that endures where others fall apart. Number 2, Kawasaki KLR650. Ugly? Maybe. Indestructible? Absolutely. This bike's not here to win beauty contests. It's here to survive the apocalypse. And honestly, it just might. The Kawasaki KLR650 is the cockroach of the motorcycle world. Not fast, not fancy, but it'll outlive your grandkids, your garage, and probably your entire neighborhood. From gravel roads in Missouri to bombed-out trails in the Middle East, this thing has proven itself in conditions where most bikes tap out. Used by the military, worshipped by adventure junkies, trusted by broke commuters who just need to get there. Rain, shine, or engine rattle. What makes it such a legend? Simplicity. A single-cylinder, liquid-cooled thumper that's dead simple to wrench on, even if all you've got is a socket set, a rock, and a flashlight. No fragile electronics, no expensive gimmicks. Parts are cheap, easy to find, and half the time you can fix it with a swear word and a zip tie. And the reliability? KLR owners regularly roll past 100,000 miles, many while held together with duct tape and stubbornness. And let's not even get started on the doohickey, and if you know, you know. While modern ADV bikes scream at the sight of gravel, the KLR just shrugs and keeps moving. It's the bike you trust when you're out of cell range, low on gas and deep in nowhere. It's not pretty, it's not polished, but it's living proof that when everything else fails, grit still gets you home. And now we've arrived. The #1 spot, not because it's the fastest, or the smoothest, or even the most advanced, but because it's still here, still thumping, still hauling, still alive in places where roads barely exist and cell towers are a myth. This next bike didn't just earn a reputation, it became a way of life. A machine passed from father to son, not for nostalgia, but because it still works. Mechanics with no manuals, riders with no backup, roads with no rules. And through it all, this thing keeps going. So if you've ever kept a bike alive with willpower, zip ties, and pure belief, then you already know what comes next. It's a legend. #1, Royal Enfield Bullet, cast iron Tempri unit. It thumps, it rattles, and it just won't die. You can hear it before you see it. That slow, iconic thump-thump of a machine built when motorcycles had soul, not software. The Royal Enfield Bullet is the oldest production motorcycle in the world. Not modern, not sleek, but it's still alive and still riding. This bike's been rolling for over 80 years. And in places like rural India, it's not a collector's item. It's the family truck, daily commuter, and weekend mule all rolled into one. Mechanics there rebuild these things with nothing but a wrench, a hammer, and enough grit to make a diamond. The cast iron engine? It's practically from the dark ages, but it's built like a castle gate, and it just won't fall. Need a valve job? You don't plug into a laptop. You pop the tank, grab a spanner, maybe a chai, and get to work. And here's the kicker. People are still riding 1950s bullets, not in museums, not in parades, on the road, every single day. While modern bikes throw tantrums if you miss a service light, the Bullet just shrugs, cracks its knuckles, and keeps thumping along. This isn't a reliable bike in the modern sense. It's something else. Something elemental. It's the bike that keeps moving because you do. And if there's a zombie apocalypse on the horizon, forget the sport bikes. Grab a Bullet, some oil, a Kickstarter, and maybe a machete, because this thing, it's the last bike standing. These motorcycles, they weren't just machines. They were stories on wheels, scratched, loved, ridden hard, and never forgotten. Because in the end, the best bikes aren't the flashiest. They're the ones that never left you stranded. Twist the throttle and hit that subscribe button. You're officially part of the ride. We've got more lists, more deep dives, and no-nonsense bike talk coming your way. Stick around. We're just getting warmed up.